Welcome back. Well, he's known to many as the Kiwi wild child, and Shane van Gisbergen is certainly his own man. I caught up with the Giz as he prepared for the recent V8 event in Auckland.
When you're sitting at home doing nothing, you got to do your training and stuff, but there's nothing better than going driving, and I get bored sitting at home for more than a week, so got to be racing something and driving around.
Driving fast cars is what Kiwi Shane van Gisbergen loves, and he's been doing it in V8 supercars since he was just 17. What's the one thing that keeps you in a race car? What do you love about it so much?
It's just always different every week. It's never the same, and racing different stuff as well. It's always different races you're up against. It's never predictable, and the rush of winning or putting that good lap together it makes it all worth it.
Can you believe that you're already in your 7th season of V8 supercars?
Yeah, it's been a long time, and I think last year was the first year I wasn't the youngest guy, so yeah, getting on in the years, but it's been a pretty good few years.
Since you made your debut at Oran Park in 2007, how has the racing landscape changed? What have you noticed over that time?
It's definitely become a lot more competitive. There's 20 guys that are good instead of just 10, 12, and so competitive now, and especially with the car of the future, the cars are a lot closer, and it's that much tougher to be always at the top. So I think it's gotten better for sure.
Those who follow the V8s will already know that Van Gisbergen's signature is going flat out. Risk is something he seems to relish. Is that a conscious effort, or is that just your natural style? Does it come natural?
It's just always how I've driven, and flat out, but I think that is a downfall in some parts. You need to be a little more cautious, which I'm getting better at, but there's the odd time where you just push too hard and things happen, but yeah, I'll never change that. Just got to keep going flat out.
2 years ago, many fans worried that the Giz might be lost to the sport. When the team he drove for was bought by another outfit, he walked away and became embroiled in a legal battle after emerging with the Techno team.
Some people had mixed views on it, and some people didn't know the whole story, but a lot went on behind the scenes. A lot could have been done better by myself, by other people, but just going racing was all I wanted to do, and I hated being at a racetrack in 2012, and I hated being away from it the next year. So I'm trying to race every week I can and just enjoy it, and it makes you drive better as well.
It seems the best way for Shane not to let the off-track dramas distract him is to keep busy in a race car. Last year he raced not one, not two, but 3 different national level racing series, and at last count raced about 5 different cars.
This year started with the Daytona 24, and then Bathurst 12 hour, and obviously Supercars started, but I'll try and do the Super Tour Enduros, and then also been racing the Drifting Championship.
If it moves, it seems, Shane van Gisbergen will drive it. Even way out categories like drifting get his attention.
Going sideways with the hand out the window is a bit different, but Ford Falcon that's got 800 horsepower and 2 laps to a set of tyres sort of thing. It's ridiculous.
Sounds right up your alley.
It is, but it's just fun. It's drive for a guy, Chris Allen, who's generous enough to invite me along, and yeah, we're having a pretty good year so far, running well, a couple of podiums, so probably doesn't improve the circuit racing skills, but maybe when I go off track I'll be better at coming back on.
If you had to pick one, which one do you get the most satisfaction out of?
The supercar. It's the most fun to race, and you're against the best guys. Like as I said, there's 15, 20 guys who can win a race pretty much. They got the talent to do so. So when you have a good day in supercars, you're going pretty good.
In February, Van Gisbergen joined Tony Quinn in his McLaren for an assault on the Bathurst 12 hour. The team fell just 4 seconds short of victory, but Van Gisbergen delivered some of the most incredible overtaking moves ever seen on the mountain and smashed the outright lap record that had been held in the past by such icons as Peter Brock and Jack Brabham, and was even faster than fellow Kiwi Greg Murphy's so-called lap of the gods.
When you think about a supercar doing an 8 or whatever, 7, and then doing a 3 in a McLaren was awesome. And it was easy to do. They just have so much grip and not much power, but the speed over the top is just phenomenal compared to what we're used to racing. So it's going to be a bit of a shock going back there in our taxis, but I enjoyed racing that car, and that style of racing was really cool. Up against Bernd Snyder, I had a great race with him.
Did they tell you at the time that you'd just broken a lap record, or was it not until after you got out of the car that you realised?
I could see the time on the dash. I think we actually broke it twice, and it was quicker than we did in qualifying on old tyres, so it was quite cool, but that car was what did it. It was just unbelievable there.
Is achieving those sorts of milestones something that you care about?
At the time you do, and maybe later on, but yeah, we didn't win the race, so we ended up 4th, so no one remembers that. But yeah, having a few good laps is pretty cool, but yeah, it's always about the next race.
Probably no one was more impressed with Van Gisbergen's performance at Bathurst than the McLaren's owner, pet food entrepreneur and GT racer, Tony Quinn. He's quite a character. How did the two of you get along?
Yeah, pretty good, and he's like me, he's just all about the racing and having fun. So when you go race with his team, it's no fuss, and they're just sitting at a desk going for it, whereas all the other guys are behind their TV screens and stuff, and they just enjoy going racing, and the results they've been getting are better than they have been in supercars, so I think he's pretty happy to be a part of it.
Now 25, Shane has one major career box left to tick, a V8 Supercar Championship. He won't be the youngest to win one, Craig Lowndes already has that mantle, but he could be the first Kiwi driver to win a title in the modern era. If you could go back and give your 17-year-old self some advice, what would you say?
Probably just enjoy it more. Like, I was just in a rush, and I was quite hard on myself when I was younger to get better, but I probably didn't have enough experience coming through and expected results more than they came. I should have just taken more time to learn and analyse, and I think I've gotten better at doing that later, but probably could have been a lot better in those first few years. But yeah, I certainly had a lot of fun and some good races back then, and still am now. Yeah.
Well, Shane, thanks very much for taking the time to talk to us today, and all the best for the rest of the V8 Supercar season and everything else you're competing in. Well, I think I can safely say that it's not the last we'll hear from Shane Van Gisbergen. Coming up, M is for the Melbourne company making motorsport its business.
You're not thinking about anything in the world but getting around that track as quick as you can, and that for me is a huge adrenaline rush.